Okay. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to the Major Applications Planning Committee. I'm Councillor Ian Edwards. I'm Vice Chairman. I am chairing the meeting this evening. Just a very quick introduction. Fire alarm, we're not expecting one, so if it does sound, we will be evacuating. We will help you out, sir, so don't worry. We're going out those doors or behind us if need be. Yeah, there's enough of us. Mobile phones. Can I please remind everybody to have their mobile phones and mobile devices turned to silent? And anybody who may be following us on our YouTube channel, you are able to provide feedback from a drop-down agenda, and so you can provide feedback from the feedback forms that are available to you. Very quickly introduce everybody around the table. The committee members are councillors. They are the voting members. On my far left-hand side, Councillor Dillon, Councillors Morse, and then Councillor Higgins, Chapman, Councillor Melvin, Tuckwell and Hagger. The other people around the table are officers of the council, and they're here to assist us. Nicole Cameron on my far left is legal advisor Anisha Teji, Democratic Services and Clerks. James Rogers, Head of Planning Advice. Mandip Malhotra will be presenting each application, and Alan Tilley is our Transport Manager, giving transport advice if we need it. Okay, we've got a little bit of a form of business to go through, if you'll apologise, before we get into the actual agendas. Item 1, apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillor Lavery with Councillor Hagger substituting. Apologies from Councillor Gorod with Councillor Chapman substituting. And apologies from Councillor Oswell with Councillor Dillon substituting.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome, colleagues. Declarations of interest, matters coming before the meeting. Any new declarations? No, thank you. Sign and receive the minutes of the previous meeting that are in your pack. Are they agreed, colleagues? Thank you. Item 4, no matters have been notified in advance or urgent. Item 5, there is only Part 1 items. There's no Part 2 this evening, so we now go to Item 6, Park in Heathrow, Bath Road. Mandy.
Thank you, Chair. Agenda item number 6 is the parking at Heathrow on Bath Road. I'll take you through the application drawings. The site is located on the southern side of Bath Road, so to the north is lots of... it's on the southern... We're in Heathrow and the runway is there. Sorry, completely disorientated there for a moment. So yes, so that's the Bath Road. It's quite a significant building if we take you to the photographs. The proposal is actually just for external alterations to this building at the Park-In Hotel. We have recently received applications for advertisement consent which have been granted. So although you can see some changes to the adverts on this building, the buildings are not, the adverts aren't being considered under this application but have already been approved separately. So these are main entrance drawing. The application seeks permissions for alterations to the existing main entrance lobby, the facade and the car park area. It's primarily to give a better offer from this hotel, which has been on the Bath Road for some time. The changes do result in some alterations to the car park, so it would increase the number of parking spaces from 41 to 55. We do get an uplift of 2 accessible parking spaces, and creation of a pedestrian walkway from the main entrance to the main entrance of from the car park to the main entrance of the site. The application has accordingly been recommended for approval. There is an addendum on this item. There was an error noted in the officer report in that there is, the committee report as published says that there is no loss of trees. There are loss of trees, but we are getting some replacement. There is a net loss of 3. However, the tree officer is content with the reprovision on site and also the fact that we're now achieving pollution-absorbing trees. And on the Bath Road, this close to Heathrow Airport, that's seen as a positive gain in what is being replaced on site. I'll take you through to some photographs. So this is the existing Park-In Hotel and the car park layout. So yes, some trees will go, but there is only a net loss following the reprovision of 3 trees. Accordingly, the application is recommended for approval. Apologies for rushing.
No, there's none at all. Colleagues, any questions or issues at all? Councillor Higgins?
No, nothing at all. I'll go to officer's recommendation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Melvin. Is that agreed, everybody? Agreed. Do you have an issue? Yeah, I think. Sorry.
I see it as a net loss of 4 trees. Just, is that 18 minus...
You're completely correct. 18 minus 14 is 4. Sorry.
And does that impinge upon your decision?
I'm now minded to agree with...
Thank you very much. Okay, it's been proposed and seconded. You can have a show of hands, please, on that one. Thank you. That's everybody. Thank you very much. And the next agenda item is 401 Uxbridge Road, Hayes.
Thank you, Councillor. This application is for a variation to a consent we granted, I think, last year for the demolition of the daycare centre on Uxbridge Road and re-provision with a new primary care facility at the ground floor level and residential accommodation for 20 flats above. The application is just seeking minor changes. Now, when they're minor, but they do result in physical alterations like this, we ask for a new planning permission, and that's effectively what we are granting on the site. But the changes that we are approving are primarily to increase the building height by a metre to accommodate some additional floor-to-ceiling heights, etc., that they've found through the design phase that they need to facilitate the actual build-out phase. The relocation of the entrance canopy and some associated changes to the windows, doors and car parking layout and landscaping. It doesn't result in the loss of any car parking, but just a reconfiguration. I'll take you through some of the plans. So the application, so at ground floor level, parking is predominantly on one side of the building, and the built form, and this would be the GP surgery, is on the other. So the GP surgery remains as part of the application proposals, and it's primarily facade changes that you'll be seeing through the application. This is the ground floor plan. The first floor plan obviously shows the residential accommodation, so that's facilitating the 20 flats at first and second floor level. We have a roof plan, the east and west elevations. Now, in terms of the increase in height, the primary, I wouldn't say concern, the primary factor that we needed to consider was obviously the impact on the street scene, which is minimal, but also air safeguarding, and we do have no objections from air safeguarding with the increase in height on this building. I'll take you through to some photographs. So the site has been demolished, so this is the site at the moment. Sorry, there's only 2 photographs. But accordingly, the application has been recommended for approval. I would draw your attention to the addendum. Condition 6 has been amended because balcony details have been requested by the conservation officer, and we felt it would be better to put it into the condition rather than argue about it later. So the balcony details are these railings. Sorry, they're not balconies up there. They are just railing details on the top floor level. We are also imposing our standard M43 and M42 compliance condition, which was missed in the previous application. The application is recommended for approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Higgins.
Go with officer's recommendation on this one.
Thank you. Any questions at all, clarification
Yes,
first?
I do have some questions,
Councillor
Mr.
Morse.
Chairman. What I found interesting here, and I strongly approve it, is condition 13. I've not seen this before. We're actually developing an off-site reduction of CO2. Normally we take a cash payment. Is this a new strategy, or I'd like to get some background on what we're doing? The only other point is are we conditioning this canopy? We do have there's somewhere in the report about canopy, and I just want to know what condition we're applying to this canopy.
2 good questions, thank you.
Mr. Roger, or
if I can give an initial response while Mandy gives a possibly more detailed one. This is a minor material amendment to an existing permission. So what we've done through the addendums, we've noted one condition we think we should have added, and we're adding that on, which is the M43, M42 one. But this CO2 condition was on the original consent. So if this was the first time we were dealing with this, then I'd be more inclined to, how can I put it, start focusing on which conditions we do or don't want a red pen. But that condition has just been carried over from the previous planning permission. I know that doesn't completely answer your question, but
don't know where the canopy is. That's what you're referring to, sorry. So those are the railings that we're referring to at the top here, and that's why we wanted to see the additional detail of what these railings are, because being collapsible, they could be quite cheap, and that's not what we wanted.
A further comment that may help you on your question about the CO2 reduction. So these conditions were all put to the applicant, which I know is the council, but put to the applicant, and they were happy with the conditions. So these conditions are making this a very green development, and I'd say it's a positive thing that the applicant in this case is being very green, obviously.
Let's not get into politics here at the moment on this one. What we have is the application that's put before us. The issue of the balcony railings is covered in the addendum. Okay, and there's been an explanation of why the condition has been as it is. And these are all carry-forward conditions with just the tweak on that, the railings one. Councillor Tuckwell.
Yeah, on that basis, I'm happy to second the...
Thank you very much. Can we show of hands then, please, on this one? That's everybody. Thank you. Okay, we'll turn now to agenda item 8. These are variations, and as there's no change to the building design, layout, or any building change, a very short verbal briefing here. I don't think we need plans.
Thank you. So agenda item 8 is land to the rear of 2 to 24 Horton Road in Newsley, so very close to West Drayton Station. The application was approved with a mix of private accommodation and a small quantum of affordable housing. This application seeks to change the development into 100% affordable housing, which is encouraged. We are supportive of the application change, and I believe, I don't know if I can tell you who the developer is or the registered provider, but we've recommended approval for the 100% affordable housing scheme.
Councillor Higgins.
Carries off the recommendation.
Thank you very much. Councillor Haggart, seconding. Show of hands, please, on that one. Everybody. And agenda item 9. Thank you.
Again, agenda item 9, when planning permission was secured at the former Padcroft Works site, which is currently under construction in West Drayton, there was a proportion of affordable housing. This application seeks to make changes to the minor changes to the affordable housing delivery, not changing the overall quantum. This has been put forward by the registered provider, who is proposing to deliver all but one of the affordable housing units on the site. So there is an addendum on this particular item because the council is somewhat concerned about the last unit not being taken by the same registered provider. So we are asking via the addendum that another part of the legal agreement should state that prior to the sale of 50% of the on-site market housing, the remaining shared ownership unit should either be delivered or sold to an approved RP. I would like to table a verbal amendment that we're not entirely certain whether 50% have already been sold, so we may seek to agree a specific trigger when we have more information on what the quantum is. At the moment we're proposing 50, but if they tell us that 50 have already been sold, we might take that to 70, so we don't have to see the application again.
That's very, very prudent. Councillor Higgins.
Seems to be the only one that stacks their hands up. Yeah, I'll go with officer's recommendation.
Thank you very much. Councillor Melvin, you're indicating? You're seconding. Show of hands on this one, please. Everybody. Thank you very much. That completes the majors. Thank you.